Welcome back. It feels like everyone is settling in and adjusting to this new normal. Or maybe we're all just becoming more comfortable with change and how frequently it seems to be happening. Either way, it still feels like there's a lot of uncertainty ahead of us. And it's because of that I wanted to talk to experts from each area of the financial industry so I get an idea of what the market is like and how they're able to help people right now. Today, I'm excited to talk about mortgages, and I really mean that because our homes are so important and so unique to each one of us. And because our homes are typically our largest purchase, it also could be our largest opportunity to save. So join me in welcoming Chris Fleck. He's a mortgage loan originator from right here in our mortgage department. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us here and being willing to talk a little bit about the current mortgage market. I was wondering if you could speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting me into this. It's a wild time in the mortgage industry. We were already in the midst of a refinance boom with plummeting mortgage rates. Add in all the events that have taken place over the last 60 to 70 days has added complexity to the situation. At the same time, we have had a ton of opportunities to help people reevaluate their financial situation from a holistic standpoint, including their mortgage. So it's been a team effort among obviously the mortgage department at Notre Dame Federal, and also our private member group, our Shamrock Insurance, and then our retail side. It really has been a team effort. We've all been working together just to help people position themselves best to see through this particular scenario with COVID-19, but also structure in such a way that following this, they're going to be in a great position for financial success.
Mm-hmm. How have things changed or become more difficult as far as assisting people in getting mortgages?
Yeah, there's been some interesting challenges. There's obviously a ton of layoffs and furloughs. And we've been able to get pretty creative on our end as far as still helping people through scenarios like that, even if it's a matter of it just taking a little longer than it would have. I personally haven't had any issues with members just not being able to see through what they're trying to accomplish. It's just been a matter of whether it's timing or some additional documentation, which happens. But it reminds me of a story that I had with a couple who they came to me looking to refinance on their interest rate was over 11% on their mortgage. And it's 2020, like it's not 1983, it's 2020. So, and they were just begging for help. In the midst of that, a furlough took place. And all that being said, I believe this next week, we're wrapping up on their deal. We dropped them from 11% down to we went from a 30-year loan that they were on, that they had 15 years left to pay at 11%. We put them in a 10-year loan at the time, 2.75%, and their payment actually got lower. So there may have been some tears shed on both sides. I mean, it was honestly just such a exciting time for me and for them to help them, to see them through to a new light and a new reality. In 10 years, their mortgage is going to be paid for, and they're going to be paying less than they've ever paid. So through all the uncertainty and through all the challenges that we've been presented, there are some great stories out there of people seeing success, and I'm, the Notre Dame team is happy to be a part of it.
Wow. Okay. So there's a little bit of I understand some bit of mortgage, and you clearly know plenty of that. But what you're saying is that there were members that had a 30-year mortgage. They've already paid it for 15 years at 11%. They had 15 years left. You helped them refinance, and the rate was so much lower that even with doing a 10-year mortgage, they're still paying less.
Yep, you got it. It's amazing.
That's insane. That has to be thousands of dollars in savings. I mean,
it was right around 100,000 over the term. Yeah.
That's life-changing kind of savings. I mean, that's not pennies for anybody.
No, not at all.
What made them decide to want to try to refinance right now?
It was just timing. They just asked, hey, could we look at refinancing? Nothing had necessarily prompted them. They've just been doing what they've been doing for 15 years, not thinking twice. And called me, and I was kind of floored that I haven't seen 11% interest rate on a mortgage ever in my adult life,
Yeah.
let alone, like I said, I hear stories of the 70s and 80s and how rates were back then. But that was the first time I had seen something like that. So it was a no brainer to dive into it.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So if somebody was interested in refinancing, what would be the steps, or what would you recommend that they do first?
Yeah, well, we're entering into a very special season. Not only are we in the midst of the pandemic and all that, and a refinance boom, but it's also the summertime. It's when the weather gets nice and people get the itch to go look at homes. So we're seeing a influx of business, both on the purchase and the refinance side. So what we're doing, or what I am suggesting, is people can go to our website at any time at NotreDameFCU.com, and look up the mortgage application. It's right there under the mortgage webpage. And with no commitment, you can submit that with minimal information. And it's a nice 5-minute workflow. It'll walk you right through it. You hit submit, and that will alert us to you looking into a mortgage. And we can really dive in from there. We'll reach out usually within 24 hours. Some documentation that's good to have set aside that ourselves or any other mortgage lender is going to be asking for. We're going to want 2 years worth of W-2s, pay stubs to cover the last 30 days. If you're refinancing, we're going to want to see your current mortgage statement and your homeowner's insurance, or your declaration page from that. And if you're purchasing, we'd want to see 2 months worth of bank statements for the accounts with which you're going to be paying your down payment and closing costs and whatnot. And obviously there's a lot more detail to that we're happy to dive into with anybody who's interested.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're saying, so I'll put the link down in the video and in the description, but you're basically saying that they go to Notre Dame FCU/mortgage and like start an application. That's
Yep.
the easiest way for you to get the information you need to be able to see if they can save, how much they can save.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay. I think
And
a lot
there's
of
going to be a
people
place.
are, go ahead.
Sorry. There will be a place in that workflow where they can upload securely behind a firewall the requested documentation that I spoke on earlier. So that way we have everything right together. And by the time we call them back, we're able to really, get going 100 miles an hour to help them out in whatever way is best.
Yeah. 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 I think people sometimes kind of want to maybe want to know how much they can save before kind of entering some more like this extra information that's needed.
Yeah.
But for you to be able to get any kind of accurate numbers to them, you really need this minimum amount of paperwork and stuff like that.
Yeah. There are some credit dependent things that we need to know in order to get some accurate information in their hands. But there are on our website as well a lot of the mortgage website, a lot of calculators that you can get a good idea of how payments might look without really doing any other extra work. And then obviously when you talk to us, we're going to really dive in and help you out.
Chris, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I would just encourage you guys out there that are watching this video. If there's any uncertainty or unease or questions about either your situation or a situation of which you're aware that you just want to dive into and talk to somebody about, again, whether it's mortgage specific or whether it has an auto loan or savings accounts or anything. You can reach out to us at the mortgage department at Notre Dame Federal, or any branch, or our Shamrock Center is more than happy to talk through anything that you might be considering, and we'll give you a good idea of what you might expect, and give you peace of mind as we work through this time of change that we're all experiencing.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.